a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Hi guys, welcome back, and of course, thank you so much for staying with us here on Tobago Updates Television. Now we are into the sporting segment. Of course, I want to thank Akil Andrews for gracing us with his presence this morning, talking about the launch of his calendar. I wish him all the best there. But I have some gentlemen with me on set now, talking Tobago football. And let me say good morning to Mr. Kenny Alfred, President of the Tobago Football Association, Mr. James Campbell, coach of the Stokeyville football team, and Nyron Orr, coach of the Georgia football team. Good morning, gentlemen, and Happy New Year.
Good morning to you, and also Happy New Year to you and all your viewers.
Yeah, fantastic. Mr. Alfred, I'm going to start with you, right? We are in 2024, the football season of ESA 2023-2024. You have completed the conferences, you are now into the Big Eight. I mean, tell me about the season thus far.
The season has been wonderful, really exciting football. Of course, you remember we brought back the FA Cup competition on board, so that was a story by itself.
Good to know.
Really wonderful. Yeah. And we're now getting into the meat of the matter, where we're going to determine now who is the Tobago champion for 2023-2024.
Yeah.
And we have 8 teams, I think, all worthy contenders for this competition, and obviously in with a chance of winning, and we expect to have some exciting football for the whole of January.
Yeah, and who are those 8 teams, and how we got to the 8 teams?
All right, so the 8 teams.
How many teams started the competition in total?
We started with 19 teams.
19 teams,
in 3
down to 8 now.
Right. We're down to the final 8. Right. Of course, we had the playoff between Eagles and Charlottesville 2 days ago. Eagles came through. So let me tell you how we came down to that. Yeah. We had 3 conferences, and obviously we'd have taken the 2 winners from each, the top 2 from each conference, making 6. And then we had to come up with a way to find the 2 best third place teams. Unfortunately, we had 19 teams, so we had an odd number. So one conference had 7 teams in a group, while the other 2 conferences had 6. So what we did was take the best third place of the 2 conferences with 6, that being Leeds, and the other third place, which Eagles, had to play Charlottesville from the Eastern Conference because they had more teams. And obviously we had the opportunity of getting more points. And that playoff, of course, took place at the Dwight York Stadium. Eagles came away winners by 3-0. So they're now into the final 8. And it's really now, as Bungie said, we're ready. We're ready to come this Sunday.
Eagles, they are in their debut season.
In the debut season as a club, but of course, you know, they have some players with some experience who have been playing with other clubs. But yes, it's a debut season for them. So it's really good to see we have a young team, young organization, young coach, young manager, no experience in the Tobago Football Association arena, and they're doing really well.
Yeah, and in terms of the Big Eight, how is that going to, how are you going to crown the champion team? Tell me about the process there, the format there.
So what we did is we divided those 8 teams into 2 groups.
Right.
And you're going to play each team in your group once.
Right, so round robin.
Round robin.
Right.
And then the top 2 teams will then advance to the knockout phase. Right. So you now have to win.
So the top 2 teams that advances, right? Is it going to be cross?
Yes, cross. So first will play second in the other group, and second will play first in the other group. So it's going to be
interesting times ahead.
Action.
And I want to bring in Mr. James Campbell. I'm no stranger to Tobago when it comes to football. Long-standing coach of Stokeyville, and of course, crowned knockout champions in 2023. Coming from behind against a really good side, this football team. Mr. Campbell, Stokeyville FC, you would have finished second in your conference. You're looking for the league double.
Well, yes, we do. And I think that it's this Big Eight now gonna tell how interested it is, and every team in that Big Eight is coming to win the competition. So it's not going to be an easy task, and I think that we are working hard to get the double this season.
Yeah. Who are the teams in your group?
The teams in my group is the winner from I think is the next conference, Eastern Conference, which is Georgia,
right?
Canby, Mount Pleasant, and Leeds United.
Yeah. Any particular team that you are mindful of in that group?
Well, if you're coming into the competition, if we come second, I think that the winner of the conference we have to go after.
Yeah, and that's Georgia.
That's Georgia, yes.
And I'm happy I have Georgia on set.
Yes.
Nyron, how are you responding to that, Nyron?
Well, we have faced Stokeyville in the FA. Fortunately, we fell to them 4-3.
That's at the semi-final, right?
Semi-final game, which was a very impressive game, tough game. As we both of us are now back in our conference to play one another, which is going to be an exciting round of football again. We look forward to facing them. no stranger to them, and it have been a rivalry over the years between, if you follow the history, the two teams have always been there. We bring out a lot of supporters to the venues and the games, and it's going to be an exciting game when we meet one another.
Yeah, and I just saw a release from the Tobago Football Association with the leading goal scorers, and Georgia has the leading goal scorer with 13 goals. That's Jason Washington.
Yes, Jason Washington.
Jason Washington. How special is Jason?
Well, first season with our team, senior team.
Right, so he played elsewhere?
Yeah, well, he was with the youth team, and he went to Bishop High School.
Right.
So his first season, doing very impressive as a young player on 20 years of age. Showing good composure, and we're looking forward to him to continue pulling the team along.
Yeah, and in that, I remember in that third place game in the White Stadium for the FA, he scored like 4 goals. He scored 4 goals in that game. Last year's format is totally different to this year's. Tell me about, giving your, I want to get from Mr. James Campbell as well, your take on this year's format.
Well, this year's format,
the big eight I'm talking about.
Right, well, this year's format is, it gives us more opportunity to play more football, especially younger players coming in.
Yeah.
Last year format would have so after you come out of your conference, you would have just played straight in the one knockout and like if it was like FA.
Yes.
So this gives you the opportunity to still build, still able to advance to the second stage of the big eight.
Yeah. So even though you have a bad game against Tocqueville, you can come back
you
against
still have an opportunity to advance.
Yes, yes. And Mr. Campbell, your take on the format?
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for the teams, and there's a good opportunity also to give yourself a chance.
Yes.
But for me, in this new format, I want to win my first game.
Yes, yes, yes. And your first game against who?
Campbell Mount Pleasant.
And this is taking place on Sunday.
On Sunday. So once you win your first game, it makes it just slightly easier for you. Yeah. But if you lost your first game, it make it harder for you because you have to win your rest of games to give yourself a chance to think. And the only way you could win the league is when you come out of the group.
Yeah. Tell me about the team that you have put on the park this season, 2023-2024. A youthful team, disciplined team. Tell me about your team. What have you been impressed with your team this year?
Okay, well, the team that I put on the park this season is a sort of mixture between the youngsters and some of the senior players. Yeah. And it's been a kind of tough road within the discipline aspect. And that is something that coaches go through Tobago in that kind of level. Because of a lot of young players want to be like a Dwight, but they don't know the actual thing to do, be like a Dwight. So with the little challenges is with the discipline. But other than that, I think that the guys that stand up to the task, I work with them for years, so I could be able to deal with the situation. And that is why now we are such a good team that we could be able to come out of certain situation, because I could piggyback a little bit with the FA finals. And it was one of the best FA finalists in Tobago for decades.
I can see that, and you see that as well. I was right there.
Yes, and no supporter could ever say that they were disappointed in that final.
That game had so many things. I mean, the goalkeeper who got injured was the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And then the other guy came on and he actually scored the winning goal, the winning penalty. You know, that was a really good game. And Nyron, what about your team that you would have put on the park this season? I mean, you came from playing. I mean, you're still relatively young. You are now coaching, which is really good to give back to the community. And I'm hoping that the guys are respectable to you in the dressing room. Do you get that respect from the more senior guys who would have played with you?
Well, just as Mr. Campbell said, Marcus, our team is filled with young players, mixed with some of the senior players who I would have played with. The transitioning from playing into coaching, it wasn't direct for me. It was something which was it just happened. I was actually registered to play this season. But seeing the situation in the community and decided to take that role as coaching, as I say, the players who would have played with me, yes, I do get a respect from them. Do get the respect from the younger players. The challenge in coaching at this level is amateur football. Guys really don't see much reward of it, so to really get the work ethic out of players is hard. You gotta respect their time, because they don't, as I say, they don't see the reward of playing at this level. So it's a give and take. So I give them the respect, I get my respect, and we come together and we feed the best team forward, and we go forward and try to get a victory at every time.
Fantastic. I must say I'm very impressed with the Georgia team, because when I saw you guys play the third place game, So wait, but how is it playing tail place with the quality of football I saw from you guys? I mean, but then again, that's sport, eh? On the day you have to win your game. And before I come back to Mr. Alfred to wrap up, in terms of, I want to get from you your venues because cricket season is in that January, right? Let me get to the pools. So we have pool 1, which is Bethel, Eagles FC, Signal Hill, and Sidees FC. Who, no, Sidees not the defending champions. Phoenix
are the defending champions. And let me just go through that for you. The makeup of this 8, I really like it. You have Stokelyville FA Cup champions.
Right.
You have Georgia 3rd place winners of the FA Cup, leading goal scorer, winner of their conference.
Yeah.
You have Canby Mount Pleasant losing finalists last year to Phoenix in the league. You have Sidees losing FA Cup finalists. You have Leeds United, who was really the upsetter in that FA competition as well, out of win. So you have to respect that. And then you have the young guys, Eagles.
Yeah.
It really speaks well to being in your A game from game 1. Even if it's a league format, it's almost like a knockout because as James said, you need to win early to give your guys a really good chance. So and it's still very interesting. It's going to be tight.
That's pool 1.
And you referred to the venues, and I'll get to that before you get to pool 2. The venues are quite simple. We're using the Bright York Stadium as our premier venue for most of the
neutral venues.
Yeah, neutral. But we're going to also have to respect the fact that we have to play a game in the East and we have to play in the West. So on the 12th, I think we go to Corland for a double header, and then on the 13th we go to Roxborough, and then we come back to the stadium and we stay at the Bright York Stadium. So we're not getting into too much into your venues. We respect the other sports that has to be played.
And we're starting on Sunday.
We're starting on Sunday.
This looks like a mouth-watering double header here.
From the word go.
Versus Campbell Mount Pleasant at 4:30, and we have Georgia versus Leeds. I mean, and only $20. That's like two doubles and a chubby you can get in there, you know. Wonderful stuff, Mr. Alfred. And in terms of pool 2, Stokelyville, Georgia, Leeds United, Campbell Mount Pleasant. We are now down to the cream of the crop, yes. And I'm expecting that all the communities where these teams are from, they will go out and support the teams.
I would like to encourage people to come out and support our football, support the youngsters who are playing. It really gives them the lift and the motivation to go on. That is required. And let me also at this point in time thank Accession for their continued support of football in Tobago. It's not a Tobago-based company, but we have to be thankful for them. And in the same breath, I would want to encourage the Tobago business community to get on board, not only just in supporting Tobago Football Association, but supporting Tobago Updates and Tobago Sports Live, because we need to have the games covered. So we would be looking forward to the support from the Tobago business community.
And I'm happy you mentioned Tobago Sports Live and Curry Porter and Tobago Updates. I mean, sometimes, persons abroad, they can't get back home, but they want to see the community play.
Well, we do have a large following. I think for the game that was played at the stadium this week, we had over 7,000 people viewing. So that it shows that Tobago Sports Live is growing, and we want to work with Tobago Sports Live because it's not the framing of the game is not just for the people who are seeing it. It is important that we get these films because we can use them to promote the Tobago youngsters. So we want to encourage the Tobago business community to support the Tobago Sports Live, support Updates. We are really appreciative of the work you guys are doing in the background, and we are going to be working with you guys through.
Fantastic. And before we go, Nyron, any final word? You can ramp up your supporter to beat Stokelyville in the group there.
Well, as you said, Marcus, Georgia FC will play fantastic football this season, and we're going to continue playing that football, win, loss, or draw. At the end of the day, we're here to compete, and we're going to compete and bring a show to the stadium and every game we play.
And Mr. Campbell?
Okay, well, I want to say that it's going to be a good contest. We're not going to underestimate no team, and what we're looking forward for is when we reach on the day, we put out a good show that the supporters can feel good about it and that they could continue coming out to support the football in Tobago.
Spoken like a man with plenty experience, Mr. Campbell, otherwise known as Flabber. I ain't calling you Flabber, I'm Mr. Flabber. I have plenty respect. But thank you guys for being here with us this morning. And of course, I'll be out there supporting the football at the White York Stadium and other venues throughout Tobago. It's always good to go and see these games in the different communities. I look forward to the different concessionaires doing their stuff as well. To boil corn, sauce, and different things on the side while I take in the youngsters representing the various communities. So Tobago, go out there and support the football. Even though we are streaming it live, the guys will want to feel your presence at the venues. At the stadium is only $20. That's small. small. All right, so I want to thank you so much for being tuned with us this morning on Tobago Updates Television Sports. Thank Akil Andrews for joining us, and of course the lovely guys from the Tobago Football Association, and of course Tokyo and Georgia. I'm going to throw you guys over to Good Morning Tobago with Candice Jackson. We're going to take a break, but don't forget, guys, continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.